Hello again, and welcome to the next on our little Advent thoughts on God's goodness. Luke chapter 1, verse 13. This is when Zachariah was in the most holy place performing his priestly duty. The angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zachariah. Your prayer has been heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you are to give him the name John." The name John means God is gracious. Sometimes we might think to ourselves that we are entitled to whatever comes from God. Well, actually, it's a bit like this, in that Elizabeth did not feel entitled to have a son. She had given up on that. That was an impossibility as far as she was concerned. But along comes God, and God is gracious and gives her them this son. God is gracious to us. We shouldn't expect that we are entitled to anything from God, but we should expect that God will be God, and that by trusting in Him, by looking to Him, by yielding our lives to Him, that God will be generous, He will be gracious. And that should be lived out from our lives as well for followers of Jesus. That people will come maybe with their expectations of us, which, might be at a certain level, and it might be, quite mediocre or whatever. And so we kind of need to surprise them if we're to be godly people, because we're to be gracious people, to go better than their ordinary expectations. They might possibly have the wrong expectations of us, of course, we need to acknowledge that. But to reflect the grace of God is to reflect the generosity of God. Because God has been generous and gracious to us, and we can show that to others.